If you're over 40, still training hard, still showing up, and the body just isn't responding the way it used to, this one might sting a little. So I'll be straight with you. For a long time, the advice you got was simple: train more, push through it, get back to the physique you had at 28. And for a while, that advice sort of works, right up until it doesn't. And you can't figure out why the same effort that used to pay off now just leaves you sore for 3 days and flat by Thursday. Here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. It was never your effort. The problem is you've been handed a 25-year-old's playbook, or worse, a supplement and hormone pipeline, and neither one was ever built for the body you actually have now. So here's the honest version. The stuff fitness gurus keep selling you and what actually works after 40 instead. 7 of them. Let's get into it. Number 1, and this is the one almost everyone over 40 gets backwards. The workout is not the thing that's limiting you anymore. Recovery is. When you're 25, you can hammer yourself 6 days a week and recover fast just because your body is younger. Sleep is whatever, food is whatever, and you still grow. So the advice for that body is all about the work. Do more, push harder, never miss. But after 40, your body recovers slower. That's not my opinion. It's just biology. And pretending it isn't is how guys end up injured. So the hard sessions don't get canceled out by a younger body covering for you anymore. They stack up. And if you train like recovery is free, you spend most of the year a little beat up, a little inflamed, and never quite training fresh. But here's the flip side. After 40, you don't grow when you train. You grow when you recover from training. The session isn't just a stimulus. The result happens in days after, and in those days are the mess. The session was almost wasted. So stop asking yourself, how much harder can you train? Start with asking what your body can actually recover from. That number is your real program. Number 2 follows straight from that. If recovery is the limiter, then most of the volume you're doing is working against you. Walk into any gym, and the over 40 guy is often the one doing the most sets. 5 exercises for chest, every machine in the place, 2 hours, 4 or 5 times a week, because somewhere along the line, we learned that more is more. And when you were younger and recovered for free, more kind of was more. Now, a lot more volume is just junk. Those extra sets aren't driving more muscle. They're draining the recovery you don't have a lot to spare. And they're just adding to the wear and tear of your joints and have been working for 40 plus years. You're paying a real cost for sets that aren't buying you anything. So here's the honest replacement. Fewer, harder, better sets beat a pile of mediocre ones. A handful of working sets taken genuinely close to failure with good form on lifts that matter will do more for you than double the volume done at half the effort. Quality is the input now. Volume was the input when you were young and enough to absorb it. So the goal isn't to do more, it's to make every set count and then stop. Leave the gym with something left in the tank. That's actually a feature now, not a failure. Number 3, and this is the one guys skip right past when they're asking me about their testosterone. It's your sleep. It's the biggest hormone lever you actually can control, and the one most of you are leaving on the floor. Here's why it matters more after 40. A lot of your testosterone release and a lot of your recovery happens while you're asleep. So when you're running on 5 or 6 hours of broken sleep, you're not just tired. You're training against your own hormones. You're asking your body to build muscle and burn fat on a night's sleep that doesn't give it the raw materials to actually do either. And that's when we go looking for the answer in a supplement or a bottle or a clinic, while the biggest free input we've got is the thing we're cutting short every single night to answer emails or look at your phone or continuous scrolling. The honest replacement is unglamorous and it works. Protect your sleep like it's part of the program, because it is the program. Same rough bedtime, a dark, cool room, ease off the screens, and the late caffeine. None of that sells a supplement, which is probably why nobody hypes it. But fix your sleep for a few weeks and you'll feel a difference in your training, your recovery, and your mood that pills can't touch. Before you spend $1 trying to raise your hormones, spend 2 weeks actually sleeping. That's a test almost nobody runs first. Number 4, you're almost certainly eating less protein than you think. And after 40, that gap costs you muscle you can easily get back. And there's something working against you here. As you age, your body gets a little less efficient at turning the protein you eat into actual muscle. So you don't need the same protein a younger guy needs. You need a bit more just to hold the line. And most men over 40 are coasting on a breakfast with almost none, a sandwich, and whatever's at dinner and calling it enough. The honest replacement is just hitting the real floor. For older adults, the commonly cited target lands around 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight a day. And active guys are often pushed higher than that. In plainer terms, real protein at every meal, not just dinner. A proper amount at breakfast alone fixes half the problem for most people. This is one of the most boring beats in the video and one of the most important. The guy who hits his protein every day, year after year, holds on to his strength while everyone around him slowly gives it away. If this is the first time someone's giving you the honest version instead of the recycle one, the back half is where this gets real, because the next three are the ones that the fitness industry has the most reasons not to tell you straight. Number 5, mobility is not the boring stretching you skip before the real workout. After 40, it's a real strength variable, and ignoring it is capping how strong you can actually get. Think about it honestly. If your hips and ankles are locked up, you can't get into a real squat. So you load the joint wrong and you leave strength on the table. If your shoulders don't move well, every press is a little compromise and a lot closer to an injury. The tight, restricted body isn't just stiff. It's weaker than it should be because it physically can't get into the positions where strength gets built. And this is the one that takes guys out of the game entirely. Not the dramatic injury, the slow one, the nagging shoulder, the cranky lower back, the knee that just means you stop training legs. That's where the older lifter actually disappears. The honest replacement is to treat mobility as part of your training, not the thing you do if there's time left, which there never is. A few minutes in positions that matter for it, the lifts you actually do. It isn't impressive and nobody's watching you do it, but it's the difference between still training hard at 55 and being the guy who says his body just gave out. Strength you cannot access isn't strength. Mobility is how you get the rest of it back. Number 6, I watch lifters treat cardio as either a fat loss tour or something that steals their gains. After 40, that mindset is one of the more dangerous ones you can actually hold on to. So let me frame it for you. The point of cardio at this age is not to get you lean for summer. It is to keep your heart strong and keep you alive in training for the next 30 years. A strong heart is what keeps the whole machine running. And to put it bluntly, it's one of the biggest predictors on how long and how well you will live. And the irony is the guy chasing the physique often skips the exact thing that protects the body he's trying to build. You can be strong and still have a heart that's undertrained. And after 40, that's a gap worth closing. The honest replacement doesn't mean becoming a runner or living on a treadmill. The general guideline most people land on is somewhere around 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, and that's not too much. Brisk walking counts, a couple of harder conditioning sessions, some easy zone 2 work, a walk most days. It barely touches your lift and recovery, and if you're smart about it, it pays you back in the one currency that matters most after 40, which is your years. Lifting builds the body. Cardio keeps the body around long enough to enjoy it. After 40, you need both. And the guy who only does one, he's gambling. Number 7, the hormone conversation. And this is one where the whole internet seems to have lost its mind in both directions. So let me be honest with you, because almost nobody in my world is. On the one side, you got the crowd that says testosterone never matters. Just train harder, it's all in your head. On the other, you got an entire industry that's turned hormones into a pipeline where the answer to every man over 40 is the same answer: get on something. Here's the honest middle, and I want to be careful and clear with this part. It is true that testosterone tends to decline as men age, and that's real. Diagnosed low testosterone is a genuine medical issue that can affect your energy, your mood, your recovery, and your training. That part is real, and dismissing it isn't being honest. But it's also true that a lot of what people blame on hormones is actually the 6 things that we just talked about: the bad sleep, the junk volume with no recovery, the protein they're not hitting, the cardio they skip. Fix those first, and a lot of the guys will feel different without touching a single prescription. So here's the only responsible thing I can tell you, and I mean this. This is a conversation to have with your doctor, with actual blood work, not a decision to make off a YouTube video, mine included, and not to buy something for who's ever selling it the hardest online. I'm your coach, I'm not your doctor. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to take or what not to put in your body, because that's generally not my lane, and anyone who does is doing you a disservice. And that's the whole video really. Look back at the 7. Not one of them was a secret. You already knew to recover, to sleep, to eat your protein, to keep your heart strong. The thing in the way was never a missing hack. It was that the advice you're getting was built for a body that you no longer have. So about people who either won't tell you that you're getting older or want to sell you something because you are. Train for the body you've actually got now. Take care of the basics first, and you'll get strong, capable 40s and 50s that the shortcuts never were gonna give you anyway. So here's an honest handoff. Everything we just covered, the training, the recovery, the basics, that's the foundation. The basics come first. That is the whole point. But once those are handled, hormones are the one piece worth understanding properly instead of guessing at. And that's what's in the next video. I made a whole video on exactly that. It's the boring, unsexy stuff that actually moves your testosterone. No hype behind it, no pipeline. It's just what works. If Beat 7 left you wanting the honest version of the hormone side, that's what's on the next one to watch. I'll see you over there.